And you've just heard Lewis Wiles and False Starts. And I'm so pleased to be joined by Lewis now. Hello, Lewis.
Hi Ali, how you doing?
I'm really well. I'm really well. And thanks for taking the time to talk to me. So, can you tell us about False Starts, what that song is about?
Yeah, so False Starts really kind of addresses sort of long distance relationships. It was kind of written when me and my girlfriend, now fiance, were kind of living the Central Belt, but both Glasgow and Edinburgh. So for kind of university and stuff, so every weekend we tried to meet up, but then you'd had to leave again for the Sunday, so it was just that kind of. That was what it was born out of, really, just that real frustration of kind of leaving each other every weekend, and yeah, the kind of frustration at all the kind of the sort of short time we've got to spend together. So that was, yeah, False Starts really came out of that kind of moment. But yeah,
Kind of catching the last trains and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, aye, that kind of that kind of stuff. So yeah, no, aye, a few late night trains indeed. So yeah.
And you've released three singles so far, but I
Mhm.
thought you've been in and around music for years. Tell us a
Aye.
little bit about your music story.
Yeah, of course. Oh gosh, about oh, self-taught guitarist. Taught myself probably the age of about 12. But before that, I was doing my classical piano, so I'm a kind of a pianist to start with. But kind of mainly transferred over to the guitar when I taught myself when I was a kind of a teenager. Don't play the piano too much myself these days. It's mainly guitar. But yeah, so started sort of self-teaching, and then within a couple of years. I joined the Focke Fiddlers. So that was our school, Milnes High, in Murray, had a group that was started in 1980 by a fiddle teacher called James Alexander.
Right.
He was a legend in these parts. I mean, it's probably no exaggeration to say he's taught hundreds, if not thousands, of kids how to play the fiddle. And growing up, kind of being in the Folkverse Fiddlers was the kind of was the kind of the peak, as it were. So really, he was looking for a guitarist to join his back line.
Right.
Uh, so he approached me, and yeah, very gladly took the role. And I suppose that's where I first kind of started cutting my teeth with the kind of fiddle music, and from there, I started my own Ceilidh band called Fruit and a Boot. So we did the kind of function scene and stuff like that. A few of our own kind of bits and pieces as well, kind of around a couple of festivals eventually. But then about 2017, moved down to Glasgow to study at the University of Glasgow.
Right.
That's kind of when I moved away from footering, tried to start my own kind of indie band with a couple of pals that we'd met down there, and also at the same time I had another band, kind of a couple of the guys from footering about as well, called Kilderkin. Try to run, I suppose, two bands at the same time. It's probably my most kind of prolific sort of period, kind of writing stuff. Um, so yeah, but Warehouse 53 is the indie band we're called. We kind of
Right.
parted ways a couple of years ago,
Right.
and then Kilderkin kind of naturally kind of broke off a couple of years ago as well. So kind of yeah, found myself with all these kind of songs for different kind of projects, and none really kind of recorded. So um, yeah, a real kind of um, a rocket to to do my own kind of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what's led us to here. So all sorts of different kind of influences, mainly the kind of folk stuff, and yeah, all the kind of Kayleys and all that as well. But that's kind of led us here. So yeah.
And so the kind of musical scene in the Northeast where you are up in
Mhm.
Moray, that I mean, it's a strong one, isn't it? There's a great tradition of particularly traditional music, but other stuff as well.
Yeah, no, a real variety of stuff, and yeah, a lot of great opportunities, especially within the traditional sphere. And I suppose being from Falkirk, being a Falkirk fiddler, it's kind of yeah, it was just the right place for it. There's a series of concerts called the Arc Sessions, which is put on by one of the former fiddlers that brought really really high quality bands up our way. So we always used to go to those when they were when they were on. But yeah, aye, a real variety in terms of scene up here. Lots of different kind of folk, uh, mostly kind of doing their own thing. But yeah, like you say, mainly sort of folky kind of stuff. A few bands here and there. I know the Zebecs are doing quite well there, Elgin lads, moved down to Glasgow. But yeah, yeah, a few bands, and mainly kind of folk stuff as well. So I.
And I mean, it sounds as though for that story that you've really paid your dues. You've learned, you've played, you've learned to play live, and all of those things.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think what's interesting is all of that seems to be reflected in your music that you're releasing under your own name. Was that something you always wanted to do, or is it because other things had kind of fallen to the wayside and you said, "Well, I can do this on my own."
Yeah, I think it was something that, yeah, like you say, kind of born of that necessity of coming out of bands and kind of sort of seeing where we went. I mean, it was something that I kind of wanted to do. I knew I wanted to record because that was the for all the bands that I've been in, we've done great stuff live, but we've never really kind of uh, found our way too much in the recording studio. I mean, Foot and Boot did an EP. um, Kilderkin didn't do anything actually with them, which was a real shame. And yeah, a couple of singles with the kind of indie folks. So it's kind of yeah, coming out of that, I kind of regretted not
Yeah.
having that kind of studio time. Obviously, it's kind of hard to come by, and I suppose, but yeah, that's really what I wanted to do with this in terms of like, yeah, like I say, all these songs sitting about from various different projects. You probably hear all the kind of varied influences. It's a bit of a mishmash, but yeah, the it's been a real sort of crusade, personal crusade, really, to to get those together and to get them recorded.
And from the first release, 2 weeks, which we'll hear later on, um, immediately for me, it was like, well, this is so complete, from the get-go, which is rare still for a debut single to kind of be like that. But so have you been working on these songs for a long time?
Yeah, so myself and producer Blair, we've been working up in Blair's studio for these about since about April last year or so. These first four that have come out, the first three, and then one due in June. So those have kind of been our kind of initial focus. But yeah, for about a good few months, we've been kind of working to get these to kind of release ready, as you'd say. But yeah.
And in terms of style, as you say, they're not exactly one style, but they are definitely singer-songwriter led.
Definitely, and definitely more kind of acousticy kind of side. I think uh, I'm Not Robot was a bit more experimental, I suppose, in terms of bringing in different kind of elements. Never played with like a string section before, so to get the chance to do that was fantastic. It was really just amazing to hear it just in such a different light. But it's been a really kind of freeing sort of process in terms of just kind of picking and choosing sort of instrumentation and how we want to do this. And I suppose some of the songs like 2 weeks I wrote back maybe in like 25 or 6 years ago, you know what I mean? So it's been a kind of process of asking, well, what's the best version of that song? Which I hadn't really done for a while. So it's been really enjoyable. But yeah, no, a long time coming. So it's been just really it's more of a relief, I think, to get them to get them out there, to get them released, and yeah, to have some stuff under my own name's been yeah, real source of pride.
And do you have a group of musicians who you use on the singles? Is it kind of the same people, or does it depend on the track?
Aye, there's a core there. So Blair's a fantastic drummer, so he helps with the percussion side of things. He's my kind of go-to guy there. My sister Daisy, she plays in an Americana band called the 40 Elephants. So she's a keys player, and all the kind of backing vocals you hear are all my sister Daisy. With the fantastic Tom Morris on the guitar, who's done some of his own stuff, and is kind of helping us out. He used to be my my guitar teacher a long time ago. So yeah, when I went to him for lessons. So that's a bit of a full circle kind of thing. But he's fantastic. And then Callum Ord on the bass, who's been involved in various projects up here. Yeah, really fantastic, really solid. So that's the kind of core group. Also in fiddle, we've got Bryony Stewart. who plays with a band called Broma, who are also fantastic. Check them out. Kind of Kaylee sort of stuff. I think they've hopefully got some stuff in the works as well coming soon. So yeah, that's the kind of core, and then we kind of once we've got that core down, yeah, try and find something a bit different. So for 2 weeks, it was the kind of trumpet lines that
Yeah.
Blair found, and Stefan Masson, who's a fantastic local brass player, came and did those for us. So yeah, all local folk, but yeah, it's just finding that variety. But yeah, there is a core of folk there. But yeah, we just like to put in a couple of sort of curveballs in terms of instrumentation.
And how did you work and record them? What was the process?
Yeah, so I suppose in terms of the writing, the most of these songs have been in the bag for quite a while, like I say. So it's really kind of addressing the kind of bank of right, which goes first kind of thing. So really it starts with the kind of my own guitar line. I'll start with a kind of demo up here. And then I think we try and work around in terms of the kind of percussion side of things first, to at least get that down. And then we try and get folk up kind of one by one and just sort of work each part through individually. We've not done really too many kind of live recordings, which has been kind of fine.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, no, it's been really enjoyable in that sense of kind of taking time over kind of each bit and just sort of yeah, seeing where we go with all that. Um, but yeah, no,
I think you can tell on each track that I've heard that time has been taken and great care has been taken.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and yeah, Blair as well. He helps us with the kind of the kind of mixing and stuff as well. So yeah, it's as much Blair's project as it is mine as well. So no, it's been super.
And you said that they've not necessarily been done as live, but are you have you played these songs live?
Yeah, yeah, we've done a couple of gigs. We did a kind of local festival called Friendly Fest in Keith last year, which was the kind of first outing that was just kind of bass and drums. So we started from there. And a couple of months ago, we got the chance to play. So the Elgin Town Hall shutting for refurbishment.
Right.
So they had a kind of last gig there before it shut for a couple of years, and we were very honoured to be kind of asked to play. So that was the kind of first. We were missing a couple of folks. It wasn't quite a full band, but technically a full band show. So that was yeah, really great fun. So it was really in terms of the kind of rehearsals for that kind of yeah, it all fitted quite easily all together, which was I was really happy with, and yeah, just a real testament to the folk involved and their talents. But yeah, the gig went really well, and yeah, got a couple more coming up. So yeah,
Yes, I was going to ask if you've got plans to play live. Yeah, you might not be able to tell us because it's still under wraps, but
I think they're all announced now. So we've a couple of festivals this summer. So we have as a full band, we've got the Friendly Fest again through in Keith. So that's to the 28th of June. Then we've got Spay Fest, which is our local kind of festival through in Fochabers. So that'll be a really great one. It's the Sunday of the festival. Spay Fest Sunday's kind of legendary
right.
for being really. It's just a fantastic day. So yeah, a really cracking slot we've got there, and then we're playing through at Belladrum. So we're through at
Is
the
it?
Free Range Folk stage on the Friday night, the kind of penultimate night before Tartan Paint, who are fantastic, a fantastic wee Keeley band. So yeah, some fantastic slots over the summer. Really looking forward to them. We've not kind of got our heads into kind of practice gear just yet, but that'll be coming the next kind of couple of months or so. So yeah, we'll see how we go. But yeah, no, things live wise have been a joy so far.
And am I right in saying you've kind of been releasing a track a month roughly? Is that what, yeah?
Ah, that's been the plan. That's
Well, I
been
was
the
going to ask you, what was the plan?
yeah.
Was that something that you'd thought, right, this is how we're going to release our music?
Yeah, I think kind of sort of digitally is how we've released so far. But yeah, one track a month. I think just that kind of little and often initially to really build up a bank. Whether we'll put all these kind of songs together on an EP, I think we're still kind of deciding. But yeah, we kind of when we came to having a few first kind of run mixed and mastered, probably about November, December kind of time, we started to kind of schedule like, right, we want to start. at this point, and yeah, do one a month at least to start with. But the schedule's kind of flexible, so we'll see what comes after. We've got a couple more kind of in the works just now, for over the summer and beyond. But yeah, we're still kind of working on getting those release ready so far. So yeah, yeah, that's one a month is a kind of rough guide, but yeah, hopefully we can keep it going. It would be yeah. I don't know what the like record is for like consecutive months release, but yeah, we'll try and hit it.
Do you have quite a bank of songs either recorded or ready to record?
Yeah, I've got a good few record ready. Like I say, various different projects, various different sort of things. So I've got a couple of albums worth, I think. Um, but yeah, this kind of little and often thing, I just like the idea of, and I just like the kind of keeping it at the forefront of something, and if we can, yeah, I suppose put something different out every month and kind of, oh, well, maybe he wasn't expecting that kind of thing. I kind of like that kind of element of surprise to it as well. So yeah, it's a good opportunity to do that. But yeah, I've got a fair bank of songs, some still, in the works, which is a good thing in some ways, but in other ways, it's kind of it'll come to that point of, oh, when's the bank gonna run out sort of thing. So you kind of need to keep ahead of that. I'm trying to do that at the minute, and get a couple more kind of written and ready to go. But yeah, we're just kind of rolling with the punches at the minute, see how we go. But yeah,
Well, you've set such a high bar to begin with. That's quite a lot. You've got to keep the quality all the way through.
I know, I know.
I'm interested, you mentioned your kind of musical story and the different,
Yeah,
you played in indie bands, you played in folk traditional bands and all of that.
yeah.
So you must have quite wide influences. Could you talk a bit about who influences you?
Yeah, I suppose a lot of kind of so initially a lot of folk bands, Rura, a big one in particular, and from that Adam Holmes as well. He's fantastic in Adam Holmes and the Embers. In terms of I suppose my mum and dad as well played a lot of kind of as they'll do. So my dad was very much in the kind of rocky sort of side, and my mum used to drive us about in a cream VW Beetle, with like birds and stuff painted on the side, and all our CDs were the Carpenters and Scout for Girls and stuff like that. So there's like that side of it. There's the folk side of it. There's my dad's AC/DC. There's all sorts. I used to run a wee radio show through in Keith as well. So a lot of my kind of influences kind of come from looking for that as well, in terms of more of the kind of indie stuff, and the Smiths and Radiohead and Stereophonics, particularly in my kind of sort of teenage years. More recently, I've been, yeah, more moving back again to the kind of folky stuff, but also, yeah, acousticy singer-songwritery stuff. My one of my pals from Ireland, he introduced us to David Keenan, who's from, oh, where's he from again? Dundalk. He's from Dundalk. He's, oh, fantastic, really, really great. So he's been one of my key influences. Jake Bugg as well in parts. So yeah, lots of a real mix of stuff. And yeah, just just random at points, but yeah, uh,
There's a Scottish writer called David Keenan, and I've known from my
ah,
experience when you Google what looking for one, you often
I
get
see
the
you get
other one.
there.
But that's a kind of aside. And what you're saying about being in your mum's car with hearing CDs, I was talking to someone recently how that's a real loss because you rarely get CD players in cars these.
Isn't it just? Yeah,
And
yeah,
I was the same. It was cassettes back when I was young, but my mum
yeah,
would have the Beach Boys or Sky or whoever it might be, stuff I would never have listened to. But
absolutely.
it really feeds into your musical tastes.
Yeah, totally, totally. And yeah, it is such a shame. I mean, our car doesn't even have a CD player anymore, and it is a sad loss in some ways, but in terms of the kind of digital, the kind of archives you can get these days, it's just it really does kind of broaden the horizons over a few CDs. But oh yeah, no, it is such a loss to have just that physical sort of thing, I suppose, is yeah, what I kind of miss about it.
Well, Lewis, Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. As you
Thank
know,
you so much.
I've loved your music so far. I'm really blown away by it. Considering your dates, your debut releases, so to speak. I'm really looking forward to what's coming next. So
Thank you.
thanks again for taking the time.
No, thanks so much, and thanks for all your support so far. It's really appreciated.
And this is Lewis Wiles, and that first release, 2 weeks.